Okay, people, so I made a huge mistake and I'm here to own up to it. Like, yo, sometimes you gotta just keep it real. When you mess up, when you screw up, when you go down the wrong avenue, the wrong direction, it's more mature and it's more realistic, and you can benefit not only the people around you, but yourself when you just keep it real. Be honest, because lying and sweeping it under the rug, so to speak, ain't gonna benefit nobody. In fact, it's only gonna make things worse. And you're probably like, oh God, ForneverWorld, what happened? What did you do? Why is it so dramatic? Did something go terribly wrong? Like, what is it? Well, for a long time I've been kind of judgmental about something that realistically was so wrong of me, and so I don't even know. I can't explain it, why I did it, why I was like that, why I've been doing it for the last probably 2 years now, I want to say. And yeah, I gotta just be honest. So without further ado, people, let's get into it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so Shonen Jump got a lot of manga in there, right? They usually be having a lot of battle series, but occasionally they throw in some other stuff. They'll have like some sports series, they'll have some occasional romance. I think Blue Box is starting to fill that void, and nevertheless, they have a variety of different series. Now, normally, y'all know, if you've been especially rocking with your boy for many years, that I love me some action. Like, granted, I like story in between all the action, but genuinely speaking, if we're being realistic, I gravitate towards a lot of action series. Y'all know the Naruto's, One Piece, Bleach, Katekyo, Hitman Reborn. I always mention all these series from like 10 years ago, but yeah, I usually go to those type of shows. My Hero Academia, Black Clover, even Berserk to a certain degree. And while again, I love a lot of depth to my series, like, you know, Berserk, while there's action, I don't go to Berserk for action. I go for everything else, the story, the rich world building, and all that jazz. Nevertheless, I usually go to those, and unfortunately, I kind of sometimes be pig-headed about it, and I neglect other series. In fact, sometimes I even go a step further and ridicule them, and it's just wrong. It's just flat out wrong. And as I'm growing and maturing, I'm trying to change my ways, and one of them is to start now and apologize to a certain small fandom, but nevertheless, I know that fandom is out there, and the error of my ways will be corrected right now. Me and Roboco fans, however many of you are out there, I gotta keep it real. I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. On the advice of a very good friend of mine, they were like, yo, so I was looking into Shonen Jump, right? I was checking it out because they got a lot of series that, you know, are rocking through, but I wanted to know why this series that, especially, you know, you, Fornev, you be clowning the shit out of it, you be talking down on it. Why has it survived so long? There gotta be something to it, right? It can't just be an absolute turd bag that has just happened to, you know, evade the axe. What's going on there? And they said, you might want to check it out. They didn't even finish the chapter. They just said, you might want to give it a shot. So I was like, alright, I trust this person's opinion. I really rock with this person extraordinarily heavy. So I was like, even though I've been pig-headed and clowning the living crap out of it and saying, oh God, get it out of here. How is this surviving? You're getting rid of all these other shows. Fair enough. I'm going to go check this one out. I'm going to go read it, you know, see what my mind is. Although I went in full intending to say, yo, dog, this is clown shoes right now. You know, the reviewer in me was going to go in there clown shoes. The entertainment person in me is like, maybe I'll get something out of it, even maybe a lesson out of it at that. But nevertheless, for the most part, the reviewer in me, that critic, that cynical side, is like, this is about to be a trash show. And I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong, because I read the first chapter of Me and Roboco, and I will tell you off rip, right? If you're gonna take this as a recommendation video, because I've only read a couple of chapters, I'm, you know, busy. I got a million things to do, but when I do get a chance to check out some new stuff, I give it my fair shake. And I'm not even gonna lie, dog. If you from the hood, if you grew up broke and you couldn't afford the nice shiny things, off rip, I'm gonna tell you that this might be for you, because it felt like straight up like, wow, a piece of me, very sad childhood there, mate. Because in case you ain't hear about Me and Roboco, to give you a brief, small synopsis, essentially there's a main character, Bondo, and he lives in this futuristic world where every household pretty much has a order maid, essentially, like, think robotic maids that they'll do anything and everything for you. You know, it's like a master and servant type of thing with these maids, and normally they're real cute. And Bondo, all of his friends are, you know, because he's like, I think 10 or something, you know, really young. His friends all have these beautiful, cute order maids, and they bring them drinks and all sorts of stuff, and they're like, yo, dog, where's your order maid? And he's like, I'm kind of broke, dog. My family's poor. We can't afford to get any. And taking it even a different direction, opposed to the kids just straight up bullying him, because yeah, in my childhood, that was definitely a big thing. Like, oh damn, you poor, you can't afford some shit, you know, they'll clown and whatnot. They took it a different direction, the author, and made it that the kids felt bad for him, and it was almost worse because they were starting to be fake nice to him because they felt bad. And honestly, I take that as, yeah, I understand why Bondo would be pissed at that and not like that. Like, I'd rather you just be straight up and show me your wickedness, opposed to hiding it behind, ay bendito, I feel bad, and in reality you don't really, and you're just like, you know, fake hating. And it's just morally and everything, it's gonna make you feel even worse, because like, god damn, now they even showing me pity. I don't want nobody's pity, hell no. So Bondo runs home and goes to his mom, and he's like, come on, bro, like, yo, you got all these chores and shit, right? But like, yo, there's these order-made things, like, yo, why don't we order one? It'll help you, you know what I'm saying? Basically, he cons his mom into ordering one of these order maids in order to help out in the household, which was the best and smart way to get things going. And ultimately, after a bit of time, his order maid finally arrives, and Bondo couldn't be happier. Except his order maid is not a cute girl, isn't the most wisest and practical, and it's pretty much some clunky, older looking, chunky robot woman, robot thingy majig, Roboco. Pretty much whatever his mom did, the order that his mom made, or I believe it was even found out that she couldn't get the order right or something like that, this pretty much order maid showed up, and this order maid is everything other than what Bondo wanted. Bondo wanted a freaking beautiful girl, like, you know, to say, here you go, master, and be like all beautiful and shit like that. Roboco is clunky and not beautiful. So it's pretty much just everything wrong, and Bondo is very dissatisfied. He's like, damn, man, this is not what I wanted, bro. And he's thinking about how his friends is gonna clown on him and look down on him even more so, of like, this is your order maid. But the thing about it is that despite the fact that Roboco is a klutz and not necessarily the ideal version of, you know, the maid that he would want, and not capable of doing things properly and misunderstands things and whatnot, Roboco has a lot of heart. Roboco has the utmost heart that you could possibly have, and will do things that probably some of those other order maids might not be able to do. Because one of the big things, which it was, you know, typical cliche, I knew something like this was going to happen. I've read too much shonen manga. It might not even be cliche. It might just be that I've read so much shit that I could see things coming from a mile away at this particular point.
It's like I've had that Yuji Jujutsu Kaisen movie watching training or something, huh?
You should go watch that video. It's a good one. But nevertheless, after a certain point, Bondo, he gets like upset, and he's like in the middle of the street, and a truck is about to splash him, and Roboco jumps in front of the truck, pushing Bondo to save him, saying, yo, dog, I had to do it for you. I care for you. Except it's not really tragic, because the whole damn freaking truck gets demolished, and Roboco is just fine, showing that Roboco, while again not being the prettiest, not being the smartest, not being the most etiquette-like, is very durable and has a lot of heart and caring for Bondo. And I think there's such a valuable lesson in that first chapter alone. Again, I only read like, I think, 2 or 3 chapters, but in that first chapter alone, it's like, yo, you may not get exactly what you ordered, but it might even be better, and it might even be what you need at this particular point. Because right now, from what I'm seeing, because pretty much Bondo deduces that, wait a minute, so mom, you couldn't get the order right, then what the hell is this? Because he just thought that Roboco was like an older model or something like that, like, yo, you gotta be kind of outdated or something. But Roboco was something else entirely, almost an anomaly, so to speak. And I say all that to say that, again, coming from me being a kid, coming from all over the streets of Brooklyn, homeless at certain given points, not being able to afford the things that I'd like, it's very impactful. It's something that I feel is definitely a nice treat, not only for all ages. I think even kids, this would be a good kids manga. And I'm not saying that, and I normally don't recommend kids. You're like, yo, Fornever, kids manga? Like, no, I'm a 31-year-old man, and I'll probably continue reading this, but I love, and I really, really appreciate that lesson right there, that you may not always get what you want. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're gonna get the controller with the broken buttons, or the controller that doesn't work, but at the end of the day, it might be what you need. It might help you train more. It might help you appreciate things more. Just in general, it was very fascinating, and I was like, wow, for, you know, something that I ridiculed and I criticized and I talked so much smack about, despite the fact that the author themselves has had such heart, man. Like the parody things, like This author has done everything and anything to not get canceled, from doing parody covers of other classic or popular manga. Like there was a My Hero Academia parody cover of this one, which again, these are straight up volumes going to stands, and it parodied My Hero, it parodied Jujutsu Kaisen. Like this author got a lot of heart, so I feel like there's even a lesson about this series in general. I mean, the biggest one is, of course, don't judge a book by its cover, which, yo, I've preached about that one, and here I have been last I don't know how many years judging Roboco by its cover, and I feel ashamed for it, honestly. And I'm growing every day. I'm trying to get better, and I know I'm probably making it way more dramatic than it needs to be, but I've said so many stupid jokes about Roboco. But at the end of the day, while it is a comedy series and it is a little silly series, I feel like I got a lot of heart, and I feel like it's a nice little read. And there I'm going to continue enjoying this little series about this poor kid that couldn't afford the regular robot but got something else instead, and I think this robot might be a better deal anyway. But I'm curious what you guys think. I guess the biggest question I want to ask, have you been in that type of situation beforehand where you have ridiculed or judged a show for whatever it may be, or a manga? You said, yo, it's bad, it looks like shit, or whatever, and then you actually gave it a try and recognized, once again, the don't judge a book by its cover. I feel like that's something so valuable right here that even now, again, I'm still learning, and I feel like Me and Roboco is a nice little treat that, yeah, people say, yo, do more recommendation videos. I like the first couple chapters of Me and Roboco. I think it's dope, and I think anybody can appreciate what it stands for, especially, you know, I come from the projects, I come from being homeless, I come from, you know, the grime. It's very, very dope. That's all I have for this one. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Have an awesome one.
So just go to